Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. I hope everybody's having a pleasant day. It's been kind of rainy here the last couple of days. Not a lot going on. Just chilling out and enjoying the weather. The wet weather. We need rain. We always need rain. Anyways, we're here at Joshua 9. I'm going to be going through a few chapters today. So let's go ahead and begin with the Gibeonite deception. Now when all the kings west of the Jordan heard about these things, the king in the hill country, in the west foothills, and along the entire coast of the Mediterranean Sea as far as Lebanon, the kings of Hittite, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, they came together to wage war against Joseph and Israel. So all these clans came forward. So folks, here we are at Gaza, the Gaza Straits. And as you can clearly see, yeah, they're going to be hitting me with all kinds of advertisements. I got to reboot my computer and stuff because I don't buy those anti-virus pop-up ad things. I don't purchase them. But this computer is only like about 6 or 7 months old, so I shouldn't be getting pop-ups on it anyways. As a brand new computer, it should already have a year in of free of no advertisement. Anyways, here we are in New York City. You see how small they're doing a comparison of Gaza. If this was the Gaza Strip, and they're placing it over our New York City area and stuff like that. That's pretty small, right? It's 17 or like about 15 miles is what it is along the strait. So Gaza is very small. Now what I need people to understand is a lot of the information that we're gathering, content that you're seeing, these shot out areas and stuff like this, a lot of the times, folks, these are from wars that have passed, all right? You know, unless I'm right there in the mix of things and seeing this shit going off, because remember, this whole plane of existence, folks, is an illusion. All right. Now, I'm not saying that people haven't died at war and stuff. I'm just saying that we don't know what really is going on unless we are seeing it with our own eyes. You cannot trust the media of what's being said. So all of the Amorites, Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, they all came to wage war against Joshua and Israel. However, when the people of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they resorted to a ruse. They went as a delegation whose donkeys were loaded with worn-out sacks and old wineskins, cracked and mended. They put worn and patched sandals on their feet and wore old clothes. All the breeds of their food supply, all the breads of their food supply was dry and moldy. Then they went to Joshua in the camp at Gilgal and said to him and the Israelites, "We have come from a distant country. Make a treaty with us." The Israelites said to the Hivites, "But perhaps you live near us. So how can we make a treaty with you?" "We are your servants," they said to Joshua. But Joshua asked, "Who are you and where do you come from?" They answered, "Your servants have come from a very distant country because of the fame of the Lord your God. For we have heard reports of him, all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the 2 kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, Sihon king of Heshbon, and Og king of Bashan, who reigned as Ashtaroth, and other elders and all those living in other countries said to us, take provisions for your journey. Go and meet them and say to them, we are your servants. Make a treaty with us. So they're sneakily saying, make a treaty with us, Israel, pretending that they've come from afar when they're not from afar at all. Okay? And I'm telling people, hold on. Israel's in power right now. The Lord has given Israel all these things. Then I'm asking you, why today is Israel in bondage? What has happened? This is a deep philosophical conversation that needs to take place. Questions have to be asked. You can't just lay around idly reading this Bible and not ask the questions that are necessary to know the truth. Okay, if I come up to a Christian and I ask a Christian, excuse me, Revelations 13:18, here's a call for wisdom. Let the one with insight calculate the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. If I walk up to a Christian and I say, hey, what does this parable mean? And they give you a bunch of mumbo jumbo, or they say that the man of perdition hasn't been exposed yet, then it's because they don't have wisdom. And I'm saying, I'm thinking to myself, what does this parable mean? I'm asking a Christian. I ask them, and they say something like the man of perdition hasn't been exposed yet. And I say, well, the man of perdition has been exposed. Here, let me explain it to you. So they don't have the answer, right? No, I don't know the answer. They tell me, no, I don't know the answer. So I say, well, here's the answer. And then I give them the answer, and then they say, no, that's not the answer. Okay? That's a double-minded person. The Spirit says that you tell the Spirit of truth, the living Spirit, the creator of all, okay? Understand that the Creator created a host system. He allowed something power that created this plane of existence. He gave it power. God ordained it. He permitted it. The Supreme Spirit of truth, the living God, ordained and permitted something, another God, that created this plane of existence. Otherwise, the God of Israel wouldn't have said, do not place any other gods before me. So the very first commandment that is given to Israel implies that other gods exist. Therefore, then it would be Elohim, a lowercase god that created a material world, because the Spirit doesn't have much to do with the material world. He only created a second man and put his Spirit on it. That's the only difference between the creations, the Gentile nations, and the second man that was created, Adam. And then later, Eve was formed from the bone marrow of Adam. It's not a literal rib that was taken from Eve. It was the marrow of Adam that was that created Eve. Now you're saying, well, that sounds like a clone or something that was created in a test tube. Well, somewhere down the line in the creation story, that God that created himself in an image of God is not the supreme God. It's an image. The flesh is not real. So when the Supreme Spirit created the second man, Adam, that was a spiritual man. It was human. Hue means dark. It means colored. Excuse me. So it's just weird to talk to Christians and ask them questions that they don't have the answers to, and then you can give them the answers, and then they'll just totally dismiss it. Okay, and the elders and all those living in our country said to us, take the provisions for your journey. Go and meet with them and say to them, we are your servants. Make a treaty with us. This bread of ours was warm when we packed it at home on the day we left to come to you. But now see how dry and moldy it is? So they're conning, they're lying, manipulating. And these wineskins that were filled were new, but see how cracked they are? And our clothes and sandals are worn out by the very long journey. totally conning, trying to con Joshua. The Israelites sampled their provisions, but did not inquire of the Lord. Then Joshua made a treaty of peace with them to let them live, and the leader of the assembly ratified it by oath. So the question is where's the Lord at this particular point in time? Sampled the provisions, but did not inquire of the Lord. They didn't inquire of the Lord. That's why the Lord isn't around. But why? Why wouldn't the omnipotent, powerful, all Yahweh say, hey, these guys here, man, they came from outside the tribe. They're trying to screw you. Because now what do you have? You're going to have Gentile once again mixed with Israel. Good and evil mixed with one another. The very fabric of good and evil are weaved within one another. You cannot have one without the other. There has to be good on this plane of existence. In fact, I'm willing to say that there's more good on this plane of existence than what you think there is. It's just simply what's being shoved down our throats as facts. Okay, unless you can confirm for yourself what is happening abroad inside of this world, and you can see things with your own eyes, stop listening to the media. The media is the demon. Everything. Media is the goddess and embodiment of mass media and global content. So media is a god. You understand that? I'm teaching you guys that when we speak this language, we are speaking the language of gods, other gods. We're not mentally connected to the Supreme Spirit. We have to speak with our vocal cords. But when you're connected to the Supreme Spirit, something outside this plane of existence, then you take downloads. I don't know how it works, but you take a download and then you learn. So it's the embodiment of the mass media and global content, able to manipulate and control everything of its aspects, from entertainment to information. She is able to infest, see and speak through television and characters or people appearing on their screen. So media is a god. Med, you have God Med as well. Everything in this language is all gods. 3 days after they made the treaty with the Gibeonites, the Israelites heard that they were neighbors living near them. So the Israelites set out, and on the third day came to their cities, Gibeon, Kephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath Jearim, but the Israelites did not attack them because the leaders of the assembly had sworn an oath to them by the Lord, the God of Israel. The whole assembly, someone swore an oath to Israel, to their Lord, God of Israel. Okay? Well, clearly people have been swearing oaths to the God of Israel, Gentile, and breaking their oaths. Because what? We're all oath breakers. We're two-faced gods. It's us. The whole assembly grumbled against the leaders, but all the leaders answered, "We have given them our oath by the Lord, the God of Israel, and we cannot touch them. This is what we will do to them. We will let them live so that God's wrath will not fall on us for breaking the oath we swore to them." They continued, "Let them live, but let them be woodcutters and water carriers in the service of the whole assembly." So the leaders promised to them was kept. Then Joshua summoned the Gibeonites and said, "Why did you deceive us by saying we live long way from you, while actually you live near us? You are now under a curse. You will never be released from service as woodcutters and water carriers for the house of my God, house of my God." They answered Joshua, Your servants were clearly told how the Lord your God had commanded his servant Moses to give you the whole land and to wipe out all its inhabitants from before you. So we feared for our lives because of you, and that is why we did this. We are now in your hands. Do to us whatever seems good and right to you. Well, what if they've already slaughtered, nations, but yet the nations are all still here. So it's kind of a squirmy little story, wouldn't you say? So Joshua saved them from the Israelites, and they did not kill them. That day he made the Gibeonites woodcutters and water carriers for the assembly to provide for the needs of the altar of the Lord at the place the Lord would choose, and that is what they are to this day. So there you go. That's chapter 9. We're going to keep it short because I'm going to roll into chapter 10 as well. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living God who is one. May he put his breath of life upon you so that you know what you are. You are a soul trapped inside of flesh. This is White Raptor News Ministries.